Ever wonder what goes into crafting? Like a really beautiful leather bag.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of leather goods pattern making.
Okay.
It's kind of the hidden artistry behind all those, those luxury leather goods we all love.
Right. Right.
And to help us unpack all this, we're going to be checking out some stuff from RoleCatcher.
Yeah, they've got some good
With
resources.
that, like their career guide, their interview prep, and we'll take a look at, their platform in general.
Yeah, it's pretty cool what they're doing over there.
So it sounds like this career path, leather goods pattern making, is a pretty detail-oriented gig.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a really interesting blend of the really traditional and then you got all this new technology too.
Right.
You might picture those artisans hunched over their workbenches.
Yeah. Right. With
Which you wouldn't be wrong about.
yeah.
But right alongside all those, traditional tools like rulers and knives, they're using cutting-edge CAD software.
Wow. So it's like blurring the lines between, old school craft and modern design.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's break this down a little for our listener. What exactly does a leather goods pattern maker do? I mean, it's got to be more than just like stitching pieces of leather together, right?
For sure. It's more like they're laying the groundwork for something really special. Think of them kind of like the architects of the fashion world.
Okay.
They take a designer's vision, that initial spark of an idea,
Yeah.
and they make it into this really precise blueprint.
Yeah.
And that's the pattern. And that pattern is what determines everything. The shape, the fit, how the final piece, how good it looks, all of that.
So it's like the pattern itself has got like the magic formula or something.
Exactly.
Speaking of formulas, the RoleCatcher guide mentions this thing called nesting variants.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that?
Okay, so that's where the real puzzle solving comes in. So imagine you've got this like amazing piece of leather,
Okay.
beautiful, high quality rind, and you got to cut out all the pieces of your pattern.
Right.
Nesting variants is figuring out how to arrange all those pieces on the leather.
Okay.
But you got to do it in a way that uses as little leather as possible. You don't want to waste anything.
Oh, wow. So you've got to make the most of every little
In a
bit.
single scrap.
That sounds really meticulous.
It's a little like high-stakes Tetris. I was going to say, it's like Tetris with real consequences.
Absolutely. And it's not just about leatherworking either. Think about project management, event planning, even something like packing a suitcase really well for a trip.
Really?
Being able to use your resources carefully, not wasting anything, that's a good skill no matter what you do.
You're telling me that, like, if I master this whole nesting variance thing, I could be a Tetris champion and like, really efficient packer.
Yeah, there you go.
I am suddenly very interested in these patterns.
See?
This is cool.
It is. And that's just one example of how the skills you learn in a trade like this, they can apply to a lot of things.
So we're really starting to get a feel for, like, the skill that goes into this whole craft. But is it always, perfectly arranged Tetris pieces and beautiful leather? The RoleCatcher guide, it mentioned that there's another side to this too, right?
Yeah, it's not always, glamorous. I mean, remember how we were talking about deadlines?
Right.
So picture this. You've got these deadlines and you're working with really high-end materials.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking top-notch stuff. So even a tiny mistake can really cost you.
Oh, wow. So it's not really something for someone who, like, gets stressed easily.
You got to be able to handle the pressure, hit those deadlines, and maybe be best friends with your seam ripper.
Right, because you're going to be using it.
Exactly. And this is the kind of work where every little detail matters and you got to nail them, often on a tight schedule.
Right.
And while being part of creating these amazing high-end pieces is really cool, the guide from RoleCatcher, it mentions something you got to consider.
What's that?
Income, especially when you're just starting out. It can be up and down.
Oh, right, because it's not like a regular 9 to 5 where you've got that, steady paycheck coming in.
Exactly. And that's something that a lot of creative people deal with no matter what they're doing, especially early on.
Right, makes sense.
Like one day you might finish a huge project, get a nice big payment.
Right.
Then you might spend some time finding new clients, new projects.
So you're saying that, it's not enough to just master the actual craft itself.
Right.
You got to have those business skills to kind of ride those waves.
Absolutely. You could be freelancing, working for a small studio, or even part of a big design house. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You got to understand pricing, how to market yourself, how to manage that money you're making. That's important if you want to do this for a living.
So it's about, like, building a real career, not just, like, making beautiful things.
Exactly.
So it sounds like to really make it in this field, you need, like, the creative side, A&D, like a real business mind.
Yeah, for sure.
But, like, let's say you've got those skills down.
Right.
You've been practicing, you've got your portfolio, it's full of amazing patterns.
Yeah.
What's the next step? How do you actually land the job?
Well, that's where you got to nail that interview, right?
Right.
And luckily, RoleCatcher, they've got your back.
Oh.
They've got this whole section called interview prep, and it's got tons of potential questions.
Oh, cool.
All about this line of work. So it's almost like having a cheat sheet.
Okay.
But instead of just giving you the answers, it makes you really think about the stuff they might ask you.
I like that. So, like, what kind of questions are we talking about here? Can you give us an example?
Yeah. So one that I thought was really interesting was, describe a time you had to troubleshoot a pattern that wasn't working.
Interesting.
It sounds kind of simple at first.
Right.
But, like, it's designed to get at how well you understand the craft, you know?
Because, like, anyone can follow a pattern, right?
Yeah.
But when it goes wrong, that's when you really see, like, the expertise come out.
Exactly. It shows that you know what's going on. You understand why things work the way they do.
Okay.
It tells the person looking at you that you're not just blindly following instructions. You're a real pro.
Right. You're a pattern master.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that ability to, like, adapt, to think on your feet that really makes a difference.
For sure.
But RoleCatcher doesn't just, like, throw these tough questions at you and then leave you hanging.
Right.
They give you some help too, don't they?
Yeah, totally. They actually have this AI-powered feedback system built right in.
Oh, wow.
So, like, you can practice answering these questions.
Okay.
And it'll give you feedback, tell you how to improve what you're saying and how you're saying it.
So it's like having a personal interview coach, but, like, on your computer. So to kind of bring it all together for our listeners, it sounds like to become a leather goods pattern maker, it's more than just loving beautiful bags or being good with your hands.
Definitely.
You need that artistic vision, the technical skills, and you can't forget about the business side of things either.
You got to have it all.
And in a world where, like, everything's mass-produced, it seems like those handmade things, those one-of-a-kind pieces, they're becoming even more special.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So the people who can make those things, they're going to be in high demand.
Definitely. People are looking for that human touch.
Exactly. So if you're thinking about a career change, maybe you're just, looking for something new, something exciting, go check out RoleCatcher. See what they have to say about leather goods pattern making.
You never know. You might find your calling.
Yeah, you might just discover a passion you never knew you had. Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those creative sparks flying.